Hey everybody, how you doing? This is Matt again, coming at you with three little fungi lawn care, South Jordan, Utah. Doing another big property today. I really like this guy. He has been kind of one of my first customers. I've had him for about a year, the second year going in. He's a really nice guy, and the thing about it, when I first did it, I met with him, talked over the property, that kind of stuff. And I mean, I was very new. I didn't really know what I was doing as far as pricing, but I priced him way too low. Knowing what I do now, it's a pretty big property. I would have done a lot more. Originally, I had him at about $30 per cut on this. That was without bagging, I think. He does like it bagged now, so I bag everything, no big deal. I do add a little bit extra. I think it's around $5 or $7, something like that. If a customer wants me to bag the clippings, I typically just mulch them up. I think it's a little bit better for the grass. It doesn't obviously take as much time for me to do it. So yeah, but no big deal. This year, though, I said, hey, when I was contacting him, kind of beginning of the season, hey, are you ready? Do you want more lawn care? Are you good for this season? Not only that, hey, there's going to be a slight price increase, and I think I only increased it like $5 or something. And he was like, you know what? I really like your service. I like the work you do. You do a great job. Can you just charge me $50? And I was like, sweet. That's very generous of you. I think I was only going to be at like 40, which honestly is still a little bit low for this size of a property. But I was like, I'm willing to take it. No big deal. But anyway, he was like, hey, how about I give you more money? And you got it, fam. No big deal. So, anyway, great guy. He he's great. I like doing his property. Grass is nice. What I have noticed on this guy though is if I do it too early in the morning, because his grass is typically pretty long, from week to week, like it just grows crazy. Anyway, typically if I do it in the morning, it is really wet. And if any of y'all know, it's hard on the mower, it's hard on the equipment. It just doesn't really work out too well when the grass is not only long, but it's also wet. Anyway, this is the front of his property. You can just barely see there in the background that red fire hydrant. His property actually goes to that place. I didn't show mowing it, but I do show doing the trimming and the blowing over in that area. Anyway, it's a pretty big property. He's also got a small, tiny little backyard, more of like a courtyard type of thing, which is really nice. I mean, it's cool. It's outside. It's got a big tree in the back. It's really nice. But anyway, I don't show that for the backyard, but I do go in there and cut and trim it all up. And then I always like to blow off his little patio area there. There's no like grass clippings or anything like that like get put up in there, but I just like to blow it out just because, I don't know, it's nice. It's got sticks and leaves and stuff all over it, and he's a good dude. I think that adds to the, what he likes about me, that I do a good job. So I like to do, little things, nothing too crazy. I mean, I'm trying to get paid, obviously, but, what's it going to hurt for me to blow off a little thing? No big deal. I think some customers might take advantage of that, or they might think that your generosity is like, expected and that kind of stuff. But as far as this case, this guy, I think that, it's worth it. So anyway, over here trimming, You can see me go into the, I don't know, like a little wilderness portal right there, a little, going in between the leaves and stuff right there. That's to the backyard. Anyway, he's also got a lot of these stepping stones in the middle of his grass. Right here, you can see me trimming all around him, all over. I don't know, there's like 7 or 8 of them. And I like to keep them, trim them up, and make sure their grass isn't growing all crazy all over the place, So he's got a couple water sprinkler things, whatever. I don't know what they're called. Anyway, trim around the trees, make sure that there's that nice crisp line along the concrete. Just kind of something that I do it's kind of nice. I like cutting the grass and seeing it, in a nice straight, even line. Maybe not so even, but you know what I'm saying. If you ever put a nice crisp line in something, it feels nice as much as it looks nice. So, yeah. One thing about walking backwards and with trees in the middle, all that kind of stuff, is sometimes I end up bumping into one of them on the way back. I mean, most of the time I do, but, all good. I guess it reminds me I gotta trim around the tree, whenever I bump into it, which makes it easy that you don't forget, to do it, which is pretty nice, This property on average typically takes me around 38 to 43, 42 minutes, something like that. So it is a bit bigger of a property. Kind of, it does take quite a bit to do it, but I like doing it. The guy's real nice, like I said. Here's over like the last little bit of his property by the fire hydrant that I managed to get there. Nothing too crazy. Now the only thing left to do is get to blowing all the debris. Get it all out of here. Real nice. Almost like the grass clippings. I mean, they just kind of disappear once you blow them back into the grass, Anyway, that's going to do it for this one. I appreciate everybody for taking a look and hanging out with me for a little bit. Hope you like the mowing and the trimming and all that kind of stuff. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Anyway, if you could, one last little favor, give me a like and then maybe subscribe if you want to see more. All right, until then, see you later.